Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Albert, and in this channel what I'm doing is I'm documenting my progress and process of selling Tesla puts. I'm attempting to make several $1,000s every month selling Tesla puts, and I'm sharing my trades as I go and what I learn on my channel. So hopefully other people will find it useful. And really, to be fair, like as I learn things and document them, I feel like I learn faster as well. So in today's video, I'm going to go over current profit and loss, so what I made so far or lost so far by month. I'm going to cover what puts closed this past week or two, and I'm going to cover what puts I currently have out, and then also I'll go over very briefly on what I learned this week. So what I made so far in terms of profit and loss, here you can see it by month. So this is the first month where I lost money. You'll see here in the first month I made about 2,000, and then 4,000, and then 11,000 or 12,000, and about 15,000 almost. And then I don't know if you saw my video before, I was going to jump to 30,000, and obviously that didn't happen. I ended up losing about $8,000 this month. Luckily, $8,000 is less than what I've made, the aggregate. So I'm still up about $25,000 since starting this in July, which is not bad. It's all relative really. And hopefully in December I'll make around $14,000 or so. However, I'm not gonna count my chickens like I did last time. You'll notice one thing here is November I sold about $64,000 in puts, and that's a big reason as to why I lost a lot of money, is because I had sold too much, and then Elon Musk tweeted something, and then the stock market fell, and then I had to close a lot of them out. So luckily I only got away with losing $8,000. Could have been a lot worse, but I learned a lot. I made another video previously, like about 2 weeks ago, on what I learned, so I'll leave that there for you to click on. Here's a graphical representation of how it went. It is a little bit more dramatic than it seems, just because these are the dates where I actually took profit, where I actually closed. But yeah, you can see I'm doing pretty good. Made about 2,000, and had a couple good jumps here, and then all of a sudden, boom, Elon Musk tweets he's gonna sell all his stocks, or 10% of his stocks, boom, and then just market falls 12%, and then I had to take some losses there. Luckily, it ended up coming back, so I didn't sell everything, or I didn't buy everything back. I sold about half back, held about half, and they were all profitable. So overall, I still ended up losing $8,000, but it definitely could have been a lot worse, and I learned a lot from that, and I'm now playing it a lot safer, which was a good thing to learn early on before I get into like big money. So here's a list of all the puts that I closed this week. My parents were visiting, so I've got to take a screenshot. Also, I closed them on slightly different days as well. But a couple things to note here. Number one is that roll that I did. I mentioned in a couple videos ago. You'll see that I sold the put for $11,000, or two puts for $11,000, and I bought it back for $75, so I made about $11,000 there. That was a roll that I did, even though I was losing money and the stock was down. I rolled it and ended up making money, a good amount of money actually. And then another thing I'll note here is that I ended up losing money on a put, and that was a weekly that I sold sometime last Monday or Tuesday, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I can't remember, but sometime in the past I sold a put, and then basically the next day I bought it back for a lot more. But what happened was I actually rolled it for another put a month out. So that one was like $8,000 that I'll make. So I lost $4,800 there. I'll make $8,000 there. So I'll net about $6,500 if it all finishes well. And the reason that I rolled it is because it wasn't doing well. I lost over 100% with the first day, and I actually did two at a time. So I didn't want to hold two puts, even though I'm pretty positive that Tesla will finish about over $1,000 by December 3rd, so I'll be positive on this. It's just too much risk, and it's better for me to just roll it, and I'll still make money, and the risk-reward ratio is just a little bit too high. And because I sold those puts and then it started going down, I got nervous because I didn't want another November to happen, so I ended up buying a couple puts back. And notice I bought this one back for $1,500 and bought this one for $700. Even though I still made money here, I could have made more if I just held it. And the reason I didn't hold it is because I got greedy, sold some puts. So I didn't, it's all kind of relative. But as I'm doing this more and more, I'm learning to be less and less greedy. Okay, so here's the puts I currently have out. You'll notice everything is doing pretty well. Came up today, and regardless of what it says here, you'll notice all the puts are under $1,000. They're all finishing in December. And the only one that's in the red here is this one I sold for $9.95 in December 31st. I'm not too worried about it. I just sold it when the price was high. And you'll see this one, the $1,000 one that I rolled. This is the one I rolled. You see I got it for $8,000, and I'm already up $2,500. whereas I lost $1,400 on that roll. So I'm net positive, if that makes sense. So what I learned this week? Okay, number one, I learned no more weeklies, right? Weekly is basically I've been trying to sell these week-long puts, and it only expires in a week. There's less time to hit it, and so you make less money, but you can make more money in that amount of time than a longer put. The problem is, like, even if I go far out of the money, like if the stock just dips like 5%, then it's too much stress for me to like keep up with it. I'm not a day trader, and it doesn't really apply to my thesis, which is I feel like Tesla's gonna break records every quarter. So at a longer term play, it's gonna go up. The weeklies are just all too much volatility, and it just takes a margin that if the stock does dip, I'm better off selling like a at the money put for a month out and make like $8,000 like I just did, versus do those weeklies and yeah, just too much stress for me. So number of weeklies for me. Another thing I should be doing is closing my positions early. Like I said, like if you're already kind of like 90% there, it's okay, just buy it back and then sell one that's farther out, and you can make more money during that same amount of time they're waiting for it to expire. I was being kind of cheap, so what I was doing as I was selling another one, like let's say 3 days before the one expires, but I wasn't buying it back because I want to keep that $200 or whatever. But the problem is, what if the stock price drops, 5%, and now I'm worried about having too many puts out. So that's what I learned as well. It didn't really affect me though. And then once again, same as last week, just optimize for longevity, make sure I have more of a buffer, and then just take less risk and be able to do this for a longer period of time. So before I was like, hey, I made $15,000 this month, let me try to make 30. Now I'm just like, hey, I made $50,000 this month, let me try making $15,000 again, right? So don't try to be super greedy, try to grow too fast, which I think will allow me to do this for a longer period of time. Okay, I hope this helps, and if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, or whatever else those YouTubers say. Thank you. Talk to you soon.